All right, team, we have like 15 minutes to do this. Cheers. We're going to be talking about my favorites of 2025. And we're not going to be going on tangents because we do not have the time. So let's get into it. Media. Okay, so I'm going off a Google Doc, so I'm going to be like switching eye contact, and I will link this Google Doc below. My favorite show this year was towards the end of the year, called All Her Fault by Andrea Mara, featuring Sarah Snook, who outdid herself. A lot of people were like, this was so dramatic, but it really kept me hooked. I was so into this. I could not recommend this enough. It was like a whodunit, basically, about a kid's disappearance. The other thing that was not launched in 2025, but was a big part of my winter 2025 in Berlin, was Mad Men. I loved this series. I love a period piece. It was so good. I watched like all 8 seasons. Top movie was definitely Perfect Day by Wim Wenders. I believe it was a collaboration, like a Japanese and German collaboration. And I'm blanking on who starred in it, but the Japanese man who starred on it should have gotten an Oscar. I don't know if he did. Maybe he did. But it's just basically about a toilet cleaner in Tokyo and his little life, and I've watched it 3 times and I cry every time. The magic and mundanity of life. Moving on. I also really loved If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You by Mary Bronstein. I think this was a debut film? I should know this because one of my good friends is into film. But I watched this as part of the Berlin Film Festival, I believe. Super weird and different feature film, just like all over the place, but also extremely real and relatable. I think you should just look it up and watch it, and trust me, it's like more on the alternative side, but still like a very impactful, high, lots of things going on, fast pace. Top books, my favorite topic. Nonfiction, Chronology of Water. I talked about this in the Paris video by Lydia Yuknovich. It's also been made now into a film by Kristen Stewart. It's a memoir. I said nonfiction. Memoir, and just talks about her as a recovering swim student protege who dropped out, and how she navigated that. She also came from a difficult living situation with her father and mother when she was younger. Extremely refreshing writing, beautiful prose. I'm obsessed with her. The best fiction I read was I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Hartman. I kind of just don't want to speak too much on this one because I think everyone should read it, since it's definitely not what you think. And this one was a book that we kind of slept on. I think it was first published like in Denmark in the 50s or 60s. Don't quote me on that. I also did want to mention Intermezzo by Sally Rooney. I think it was a 2024 book, but I read it in 2025 at the beginning. I love Sally Rooney. She is my favorite author. She's my favorite modern author. And Intermezzo, I mean, this woman does not miss. It was about 2 brothers, both quite different, navigating their own life and inner turmoils and the characters in their life through the passing of their father, and it's incredible. Academic paper, I just mentioned this because like I read a lot of them, doing my master's of public health and social policy right now, and through University of Victoria, which has a huge focus on Indigenous health and matters. And who wrote this? So it's called Indigenous, Natural and First Law in Planetary Health. Very moving and touching piece about how Indigenous people view stewarding the land and just generally how they view life. It was by a lot of people. I thought it was just by one. Nicole Redverse was the main author. Okay. Moving Swiftly Along Top podcast, The Wellness Process. This was towards the latter of 2025 by Elizabeth Andrews. And the expanded podcast by Lacey Phillips, and it's now run by Jessica Gill. And I just love their woo-woo neuroscience stuff. And Bingetopia, among some other podcasts that you can ask me about for like just in the background podcasts. What was that? Okay, top YouTube. Ooh, I didn't write their last names. I'll link them up there. Hitomi for spirituality and a regulated nervous system, and I really appreciate, she always just leaves me grounded. Love her cinematography. Moya, who now lives in Paris. I only found her in 2025. Just for comfort. She's my like comfort YouTuber. I love the way she speaks. Yeah, and has really good taste in aesthetics and books. Nina Montagne, there's a very real grounded redhead chick who talks about, she has like video essays on random topics that I really enjoy. They're usually based on art and literature, and I find out a lot of new stuff through her. Speaking of, I also like Shannon Kim, who's this like more Gen Z YouTuber who does video essays on like different intersections of art, life, society, and I found out a lot through her. I'm like, what did I find out? There were things. I've like, Shannon and Nina Montagne have actually influenced me the most for buying books. About like 60s and 70s art movements, how they reflect on us now. Top music. Okay, I did just have a coffee, so I feel like I'm going crazy. We're getting it. I like Amphaf on YouTube. Is this recording? I thought it wasn't recording. Hope I'm not blurry. Faf makes really great YouTube playlists, and I'm more indie inspired, which is what I like. I liked Sable Fable by Bon Iver. I love Florence the Machine. There wasn't like anything that really spoke to me this year. I don't know, the Berlin Club spoke to me. They speak to me each time I go listen to music there. Theater and dance, also one of my favorites. I don't know, I guess I saw a lot of theater and dance. None of it really spoke out to me. I also like dislike seeing contemporary ballet pieces, and it's probably because I have some unresolved trauma there, but I really like weird alternative theater-like dance pieces. So I was extremely moved. By far my favorite thing I've ever seen. It's called, I literally flew to Paris for this. Okay, I flew to Paris to watch this in April, I believe, at Le Chaillot. It's by Holly Blakey. 2 pieces. One was A Wound with Teeth, already, like A Wound with Teeth, love it, and Phantom. I'm just gonna quickly read the descriptions because they're extremely beautiful. A Wound with Teeth. How can loss of memory be a site of potential? In this excerpt from a new full-length work, Low, Blakey uses her own experience of forgetting to create a work that questions our ability to remember. I read that wrong. And also to imagine and invent at the border of the rational and the irrational in a world that is sometimes terrifying and perverse. Fighting for our own survival also means creating stories and our own monsters and beasts. When I tell you I was transfixed at the lighting, costume, dance, choreography, soundscape, it's also very sweet. Her husband does the soundscape for her. Phantom was in a very similar vein, but about women's abortion, I believe. So carried by 10 dancers engaged in choreography on the verge of ritual. Yes. Holly Blakey explores with tenderness, honesty, and strength a particular painful episode of her personal journey, her miscarriage. Okay. So I could so tell that this was personal. Again, just like jaw-droppingly moving. I can't, you need to go see, everyone needs to go see her work. I'm gonna link, the YouTube trailers are linked in the doc, but I'll also, yeah, I'll put them in the description. Travel, top places I've traveled. Last year was a really fun travel year. I spent a lot of it in Europe. all of it in Europe. So I went to the Cyclades in Greece with like several people. I was there for a few weeks. This was extremely beautiful, and I will not list my favorite island because I want to preserve it for the locals, but I will say that any remote smaller island in Greece is way worth visiting, especially if you're not so into like the tourist American polo shirt scene, or like loud British 18-year-old guys. I love the local scene in Greece. It's very like stuck in time, and it's like community based, and it's just wonderful. Marseille, France was also really unique. I love the city beaches there. It's super fun, very young, fresh city, and like really playful. Top city neighborhood, Friedrichshain, where I live in Berlin, or lived. Also Maybeschufer in Berlin. It's like the Long Canal neighborhood. Maybe it's not, but I consider it Maybeschufer. La Maison is there. Sorry, call me basic. Canal walks there are amazing. Bocce's played there. There's markets. It is brimming with life. Health. Oh my gosh, guys, I have tried to refilm the second part of this 3 times. Okay, of me talking 10 minutes into the camera, so I am really hoping that this records. Into it. Okay, coming down on my coffee high right now, but that's okay. Top habit and routine. Around the spring I stopped drinking, and that's just kind of been carried over. I was getting sick, and then I had to take antibiotics, so I couldn't drink. And then yeah, I think I'll still probably drink on like special occasions. Just really love the baseline energy level I have right now, and it's just not worth it for me. Yeah, and it's been really good for my overall health and skin. So yeah, but no judgment here, and you do you, boo boo. Wellness hack. A wellness hack is supplements. Like, I love probiotics and I love propolis. You should go look that up. It's what bees use to protect their hive from outside pathogens, and does the same when you take it. So I was like, this was really helping my immune system when I was taking it. Top creative practice. I did a lot of writing in the beginning of 2025 to get over a breakup in 2024, and this was amazing. This was like such a healing practice, and I also really love making these videos and editing and like learning new things, and I feel like it's really big creative practice for me to share and express, even if it's into the void. Beauty. I have my physical products upstairs, but whatever, I'll just like point. The blush. The Blush Benefit cosmetic, or the Blush Benefit is my favorite like cosmetic tool, I suppose. It also like doubles as a lip stain. It's like phenomenal. Top hair. I've been using Olaplex shampoo and conditioner for years now, and I have never deviated, and it's my favorite thing. It's like just really good quality. It's expensive, but I probably go through 2 bottles a year, which is nothing. Top skin. I love Supergoop SPF. So that is a Gwyneth Paltrow brand, I believe, but I think they make a really amazing product. The Unseen sunscreen that was like $40 lasted me like 6 months, like all of summer into fall, and you put it on, it like immediately absorbs into your skin, and it's so amazing. It doesn't leave any of that like residue. Their tinted moisturizer is good too. I usually wear it, but I'm not wearing it right now. My favorite style, so I'm wearing it right now. So my most worn shirt is the Evade Taxes shirt that I got in Berlin, locally somewhere. And then my Wrangler jeans, my little boyfriend jeans. I got these. This is like my most worn outfit right here. I got these jeans in Vancouver at the beginning of 2025. Okay, we're getting through it. My favorite food, the Cantina in Sifnos, Greece, which is an island in the Cyclades. It's like a cliffside family-owned restaurant, and it was an incredible 2025 dining experience, and their food is really unique, and just like homegrown, I feel like. Well, probably not homegrown. It's not like you can... Anyways. Top hyperfixation meal. Chia seed pudding with coconut milk. This was all I ate for like the latter half of 2025. You need to buy the canned coconut milk, and it needs to be like smooth. It can't be chunky. It's so good. It's like ice cream. Unexpected favorite of the year. I love a good toddler comeback. I feel like we're kind of diving into toddler style, and I like this t-shirt over long sleeve, and I also like dress over pants. Dress over pants. Like great comeback. Top lesson I learned this year. I want to preface with that I have already talked about this twice and it didn't record, so it's probably not going to come out amazing. The first time I feel like it came out really good. So 2 things. The first thing is nothing is black and white. We're always in the gray zone. 2 things can be true at once. And life is a paradox. Like, I can be grieving and very sad, but I can also experience joy and hope. So they're not mutually exclusive, and this is just like a truth of life, and it's something I realized in 2025 and I'm continuing to work with. And also that I don't really care that much about what people think, to put it bluntly. Like, this is just something I feel like it's not personal to me. It's like what comes in your later 20s. I feel a lot more free to be myself, I suppose, and embrace the cringe, because people who don't embrace your cringe are judging you and therefore judging themselves and are insecure. But like, if that's you, that's okay, and you can get through this. Because like, the more you're just yourself, the more you're gonna attract your people into your life. And if someone is judging you, like, that's really fine, and you don't need to be friends with them. Like, you're actually better off. So it's like a win-win situation, and I feel like realizing that in 2025 has been really good. Oh, my book list for 2026. I went so in depth with this and it didn't record. I will do it again. But first, I did want to say that I put in my book list into ChatGPT, and it gave me like themes I'm exploring this year, and it was like philosophical, existential, lyrical, often melancholic stories with complex female authors and characters, which could not be more true. I'm always reading female authors. Not that this makes me superior in any way, it's just like what I gravitate to. Or if I'm not reading that, I'm reading like queer authors with like weird prose poetry. But anyways, let's get to it. My fiction that I want to read in 2026. Bel Canto by Anne Patchett. This has been sitting on my bookshelf forever, given to me by my good friend Emily. East of Eden by John Steinbeck, I think also recommended by Emily. And my friend Jess. Big, thick book that has also been sitting on my bookshelf and I need to read. Like, lots of biblical references about morality. It's just a great book, I've heard. The Midnight Library, recommended by my friend Julia. Bonjour Tristesse by François Sagan. I don't know how to say that. But I do want to read it in French. I think I'll first read it in English. My friend Jess recommended it to me, but even before then, I had heard of it in the summer and wanted to read it. And she is sending it to me, I think. Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead by Olga Tokarczuk, Polish author. I think she won a lot of prizes for this book. I've been wanting to read it. It's definitely, I think, would be like a more challenging book. It's not necessarily like a beach read, and right now my brain is kind of exploding, so it'll probably be a spring book. Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. I want to read this book before I see the movie that's coming out later this year. And also I do want to read like a classic from that time period and get into the romantic pieces. The Unbearable Lightness of Being by Kundera, one of the male authors I'm reading because it's a classic. Also been sitting on my bookshelf. White Nights by Dostoevsky for context and just a classic to read. On the Calculation of Volume series by Sylvege Ballet. I've heard a lot of really good things about it. It's about a woman, I think, that goes through the same day over and over again, but there's like 8 books on it. So, memoir nonfiction. Slouching Towards Bethlehem, which is a Joan Didion book that I'm reading right now. Almost done it. Not so impressed, but I will say Joan Didion's writing is always like a balm for the soul, and so I could not recommend it. It's about like various essays and pieces, all to do with the 60s, 50s, 60s, 70s in like Southern California. Slow Days, Fast Company by Eve Babbitt. I've heard Eve is a raunchier version of Joan Didion, and therefore I want to read her, and she's been on my list forever. We're still going strong. Near to the Wild Heart by Clarissa Spector. I read her book Agua de Vida and I found it to be like extremely weird and unconventional, and I love that a lot, so I want to read that book. Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer has been on my bookshelf for years, and it's about Indigenous ways of knowing and plants. I want to read it. It's also a thicker book. I've started it, and it's really beautifully written so far. A Manual for Cleaning Women by Lucia Berlin was influenced by this by another YouTuber, and I looked it up and I was like, yes, I want to read this. Stories of essays that are kind of fiction-y. Madonna in a Fur Coat, recommended to me by my friend Sinem, or given to me, gifted, by a Turkish author, like a love story, kind of memory. I'm gonna read it. The Autobiography of Red by Anne Carson. I have heard many good things about Anne Carson. She's a Canadian poet, I believe, and I wanted to read specifically this book because I love abstract concepts like that. The Art of Cruelty by Maggie Nelson, which is one of my favorite authors. Her book Bluets is like really good. Also weird and abstract. We're sensing a theme here. But this is kind of, I don't really know what it's about. I just really like the title, The Art of Cruelty. That's it for now. There's more. There's like so much on my Goodreads, but I'm probably not even gonna get through all of these in 2026. But yeah, I will probably also add some esoteric and spiritual books in there as I go through the year. I really want to learn about Sufism, but I don't typically do self-help books. I don't find a lot of value in them anymore. But yeah, that is my 2025 wrapped in 2026, plus my recommendations. Thank you for watching this, and yeah, I hope you have a really amazing 2026 full of experiences that make you grow and laugh and love, and yeah, give yourself some grace and compassion always. Mwah. Bye.